Imagine if two of Hollywood's biggest houses came together under one roof: Superman, SpongeBob, Star Trek, HBO, CNN, all part of the same empire. That might be where we're headed. Today, Paramount Skydance is reportedly preparing a bid for Warner Bros. Discovery. This could be a blockbuster merger, but will it happen? And what would it mean for streaming, content, creators, and viewers? Let's dive in. According to Reuters, Paramount Skydance is preparing to bid for Warner Bros. Discovery. The deal would be backed by the Ellison family, namely David Ellison of Skydance, and Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle. Recently, Skydance bought Paramount Global for $8.4 billion. This new bid would bring together an even broader package of media assets. Some of the specifics: they're targeting Warner Bros. Discovery's media assets, film studio Warner Bros., streaming service HBO, HBO Max, and CNN, among others. The offer is expected to be mostly cash. This potential deal comes at a time of intense consolidation and competition in media. Traditional cable revenues are declining, streaming is expensive, viewership is fragmented across dozens of platforms. For Paramount Skydance, combining with Warner Bros. Discovery would immediately scale up their content library, franchise power, and streaming heft. For Warner Bros. Discovery, shareholders might see a tempting offer, especially if they believe the current restructuring, splitting cable business from streaming studio operations, isn't delivering quickly enough. Let's look at who Skydance is. Skydance produced high-budget tentpole films like Top Gun: Maverick, Mission: Impossible Installments, etc. The acquisition of Paramount Global gave them access to more film libraries, intellectual property, and a streaming platform in Paramount+. Backing from Larry Ellison gives them strong financial muscle, which is critical. Buying Warner Bros. Discovery is no small deal. The deal would unify huge franchises and content brands. You'd have Warner Bros. Film studio output, think DC Comics, The Matrix, etc. HBO and its prestige shows CNN's news network, Paramount's existing content, Nickelodeon, etc. Streaming services would be combined powerhouses, a larger content library for Paramount Plus, HBO Max under one ownership. There's potential for cost efficiencies, content, distribution, marketing. The merged firm could negotiate better with platforms, advertisers, sports licensing deals. But nothing like this comes without big risks and hurdles. Antitrust regulatory scrutiny. Merging two major studios plus streaming plus cable news is going to attract attention. Regulators will ask, does this reduce competition? Will prices rise for consumers? Will content diversity suffer? Debt and financial health? Warner Bros. Discovery isn't a small debt-free company. They have substantial net debt, about $30 billion per the report. Any deal must consider how to manage that debt, whether through paying it down, restructuring, etc. Integration complexity. Merging studios, streaming services, news networks, each has its culture, costs, software, subscriber bases. Realizing efficiencies will require spending to integrate, possibly layoffs or changes in strategy. Shareholder sentiment and timing. Shareholders of Warner Bros. Discovery might prefer a cash offer for certainty, but leadership's restructuring, splitting cable from streaming, etc., may believe long-term value comes from keeping things separate. Antitrust climate and political risk. Given concerns around big tech and media consolidation, this deal could face opposition, especially if regulators believe it would reduce choices for consumers. Right after the news broke, the stock market responded sharply. Warner Bros. Discovery shares surged as much as 30%, while Paramount Skydance's jumped about 15%. That suggests investors believe there's serious prize value here, and that a bid might actually happen or at least force a premium offer. Analysts have been quoted calling the deal audacious, but also saying it makes strategic sense. Why? Because scale is increasingly everything in streaming. Massive content libraries and subscriber bases are critical to compete with Netflix, Amazon, Disney. For viewers, this could mean more shows under one app, or possibly bundled streaming offerings. It might also lead to price increases, depending on how the merged company negotiates with distributors or cable providers. For creators, writers, actors, indie producers, there are pros and cons. Bigger studios might mean more platforms to pitch and more resources for big productions. But consolidation could also reduce the number of independent studios that take risks, lead to more gatekeeping, or pressure creators to stick to proven franchises. So what to watch next? Will a formal bid be filed? So far, reports are that Skydance is preparing a bid, no offer submitted yet. Regulatory filings, antitrust reviews from the DOJ or FTC will be key. Warner Bros. Discovery's boards, how they respond, whether they accept a bid or insist on their restructuring path. How this shapes consolidation in the media sector. If this deal succeeds, or even if it fails, it could accelerate mergers among smaller players, or push streaming platforms to consolidate for survival. Closing. If successful, the merger of Paramount Skydance and Warner Bros. Discovery would be one of the biggest reshuffles in entertainment history. For consumers, creators, and competitors, very big changes could be coming. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown useful, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss updates. Tell us in the comments. Do you think this deal is good or bad for entertainment? Let's talk.